champions. Of course, Henry Chow making an incredible run this season. As you see, 2025 Atlanta Regional Champion. Started it off in Baltimore and San Antonio. And Piper knows that as well from 2 regional wins in her 2023 season. So both of these players are very similar caliber here. I think they're around the same age too. They're both pretty young players in our Masters division, and they are out here competing in our featured stream match. It's going to be an exciting one.
Whew, this is a blockbuster matchup. These are 2 of the best in the game right now. I ran into Piper yesterday after the first day ended. She was a little annoyed. She lost the last round of Swiss to Bodie Robinson, and she said, I'm not worried, though. I'm going to win all my rounds tomorrow.
Oh, easy.
Everything's going to be fine. And here she is with an opportunity to do that. She's not lost today. One more win, and you make it to the top cut. Keep yourself alive to become international champion. 3 years ago, she did have a win-in for top cut at NAIC and was not able to convert, and she wants to get retribution on that.
Yeah, she wants to run this back here, make it in this time. And of course, our last match that we featured were these decks too. It ended in a tie. So let's now see who's gonna become our winner in this match. Who's gonna come out on top between Gardevoird and Marnie's Grimmsnarl. Maybe we'll finally get this conclusion here, Kyle.
We'll love to see that. And Henry, you know, he's a fierce competitor. He really wants to win. And, you know, up until Portland, whenever he would make the finals, he would end up winning. But he did get second place in Portland to Michael Davidson. He showed that he is human. We'll see if Piper can take down one of the top players of this season, Henry Chow. This is an epic match to end our Swiss rounds here at NAIC. Let's see something great.
Let's see something great. I need to see more than just energy attached to Monkey Dory Pass, which we've seen earlier on this stream. But let's see if Henry can set us up with a nice, stable starting turn out here. We're going to start with an Ultra Ball to discard a couple of cards here for Henry. All right, so we've seen how this matchup goes. It is actually very intricate. Do you want to talk about what we're going to be seeing here from both of our players, Kyle?
I mean, it's complicated. The games change quite a bit depending on, you know, starts, you know, like what you're able to get into play quickly. It can be kind of a headache to play this matchup, to be honest. I'm sure both these players have had to go through this matchup multiple times. I think when the Marnie's Grimmsnarl deck really came to light, it was at a Champions League event in Japan, and when this card came out finally, the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX, it was thought maybe this is the end of Gardevoird. It's got the darkness weakness. The Grimmsnarl deck is good on its own. Maybe Gardevoird is finally going to get cast aside. But no, it is closer than it looks. Even if you don't have that many tech cards, Gardevoird is just such a powerful deck. The unlimited energy acceleration, the ability to move damage counters around with the Monkey Dory, and the Drifloon with the Bravery Charm is able to take one-hit knockouts on big Pokemon EX like the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. So there's a lot that can go on in these matchups. I think that's one of the challenges as well. There's not a straightforward game plan. You kind of have to react to what your opponent is doing.
Right. Well, one thing that we definitely are going to see is Monkey Dory, as you already see it out here from Henry Chow. I'll also mention, too, Piper is very familiar with Gardevoird, has been playing Gardevoird a lot this season as well, has converted over to the Marnie's Grimmsnarl, so I'd be interested to hear why. Obviously, Piper's thinking that this is a deck that can beat Gardevoird because you know how powerful Gardevoird is, so you have to go into this giant tournament knowing that players like Henry Chow are going to be out there in the field with Gardevoird and have a chance to beat it. So Piper's going to get set up here with her own Monkey Dory off of this nest ball to start us off. And look at this jumbo card in the corner, too.
Yeah, the oversized Blood Moon Ursaluna EX is the mascot for Piper. And yeah, I got a nice little trick-or-trade version of the Monkey Dory coming down.
Yeah, I love that. A little spooky
Some
in
style, here. Yeah. Yeah, Piper did say in Portland she played Gardevoird again, but she's really tired of playing Gardevoird. She's like, I've had some good success with this, but I just don't want to play this thing anymore. And so not too surprised she switched over to the Marnie's Grimmsnarl and is having some big success. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why the Spikemouth Gym, it is an incredible stadium card for this deck.
So good.
Once every turn, you just get to search for a Marnie's Pokemon and put it into your hand. So just a stadium card that can be repeatedly used every turn. You can get the basic, you can get the stage 1, you can get the stage 2, whatever you need at that given time. It's a huge consistency boost, and it works in the face of things like Badoo's Itchy Pollen, since it's not an item card. So it's one of the reasons this deck is able to function the way it does.
Yeah, and you love to see this. Speaking of consistency as well, that Pokegear 3.0, searching out that Iono here for Piper. You know, you look at the top 7 of your deck, grab a supporter. That can help out quite a bit for this deck that lacks draw support and can kind of fall into some really clunky hands here and there. And this is going to be the new hand for Piper Lapine here, as we see that ace spec in the secret box netted to the hand. We're going to see that dark energy go down onto her own Monkey Dory here, the more fashionable Monkey Dory on the field. And now, yeah, we see a difference in Monkey Dory, but look at this. The numbers are equivalent here between our players, and you can start to see why and how powerful this Adrena Brain ability is going to be in this matchup. We see Henry searching out these energy with the Earthen Vessel, discarding a Psychic Energy, getting those babies into the discard here. Does have to Professor's Research next to get a new hand.
Yeah, the Adrena Brain, I mean, we've seen it for over a year now. It's such a powerful ability to be able to move damage from your Pokemon to your opponent's Pokemon, and it's especially effective against the Marnie's Grimmsnarl deck that is kind of about spreading damage around to multiple Pokemon and setting up knockouts on a future turn. When both players have the Monkey Dory, it's even more complicated.
Yeah, usually it's like, oh, I'm doing my own damage to myself and I just sling it back at you. But when your opponent's also going to sling that damage back, it gets way more complicated. I say, Puka, I do not envy you with the math. We're going to have to be adding up. You're a lot better at it than me, I'll tell you that much. But Henry here is going to establish these 2 Ralts down. We have 3 Monkey in play, 2 of them active with the Adrena Brain ability already. And I think a couple Psychic Energy now in the discard pile.
Yeah, huge turn for Piper. Has the secret box in hand. This is going to enable a turn to Rare Candy into Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX if Piper wants it. The secret box is the card you want to see in your hand early on in the game. It's an A-Spec card that gives you incredible consistency. A-Spec cards have all sorts of different effects, right? You have Prime Catcher, which lets you be aggressive. You have the Neo Upper Energy, which can help you kind of cheat out energy costs, things like that. The secret box has become kind of a staple one for setup decks like this that want to just find consistency cards. It's like when you get set up, your deck is just very strong. You're seeing it right here. The secret box can grab Rare Candy and the Spikemouth Gym, so it gets you the way to get the Stage 2 into play, and then the way to search for the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. It's a great combo.
Yeah, powerful tool cards as well. If you need the pivot, you can grab the rescue board. If you need to get into those evolutions, you grab that TM evolution. It's a fantastic A-Spec. Perfect here as we see the Rare Candy into the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX punk up ability to get these energy out. They do have to be placed onto our Marnie Pokemon here, but that is A-okay because that is who we're attacking with. And then we can just free place Dark Energy onto the Monkey Dory to get them ready to sling some damage as well. So this is truly what unlocks everything here for Marnie's Grimmsnarl. You can fully set up so early in the game and start swinging, and not only do you have the 180 from Shadow Bullet, but you also have the damage, the 30 damage you can apply to your opponent's bench. So that's going to add that extra damage that Piper might need to take the edge in this matchup.
Yeah, it's funny though. Right now, you wish that it was optional.
Right.
You don't want to put 30 damage because it's just going to get sent back to you.
Unless you're winning with it.
Yeah. Part of the reason this deck works the way it does is because you don't have to use your energy attachments on the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. You don't have to use your attachment for the turn to power it up. The ability does that for you, and you can use your attachments on the Monkey Dory to set up the Adrenabrain. You see a shift in this matchup. You know, this deck does usually play Frostlass as well, and Piper does have the Frostlass in her deck, but recognizing that it's not worth putting into play against somebody who has a bunch of Monkey Dory.
Right.
So Piper is just going to say, I'm going to put these big Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX into play. They have a lot of HP. They hit your Gardevoird EX for weakness. This is going to be my plan of attack. Just power up a bunch of Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. Don't worry about the spreading damage part of the deck for this matchup. I'm just going for big knockouts, and we'll see if you can keep up.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a scary board. These big, dark Pokemon, that is not what you want to see, being dark weak, that is for sure. Henry Chow going to shuffle these Pokemon back into the deck within the Monkey Dory and that Scream Tail that was discarded earlier off an Ultra Ball in our first turn. Pheasantipity is going to help out a little bit here with the Flip the Script ability, draw into 3 additional cards for Henry as we're going into an Arven now as well. So it seems like, you know, we've got a hand. We're playing cards here for Henry. The 30 damage from that Shadow Bullet went down onto the Ralts for Henry. And now we have the Secret Box and the TM Evolution here from that Arven to start us off. So it's Secret Box versus Secret Box, Kyle. I mean, you see how good this ace spec truly is. There's a reason why it's nice, bright, and pink, and you can only play 1 copy of it in your deck.
Yeah, Henry was one of the biggest proponents of the Secret Box in this season, playing it in Gardevoird for quite a while now, being on record saying that this is one of the reasons why the deck is so good. When you draw a Secret Box, you get set up, you win games. Now, an interesting part of Henry's list, you know, in Portland, Piper decided not to play Drifloon in her Gardevoird deck, instead opting for 2 Screamtail. And here, Henry is opting not to play the Drifloon either.
Yep.
So there's a chance Piper could be expecting Drifloon to come down at some point. But
there's also a chance she knows that it's not in the deck too, maybe.
True, yeah.
She took it out as well, you know?
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's on the mind, I suppose you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, you don't know exactly what is in your opponent's deck. Sometimes you kind of have to take an educated guess, and we'll see what happens.
Wrong card. That's not the counter catcher.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know it was in hand, right?
Okay, yeah. I meant to play the counter catcher, took out the TM Evolution anyway, but that's okay. We have
totally.
the counter
This
catcher.
is the counter catcher.
Now. Don't look at it, it's fine. Well, the Monkey Dory is going to come up here for Henry Chow. We also saw the evolution into this Gardevoird EX. That's what's unlocking our Psychic Embrace here. That's why the Screamtail is having to take these damage counters now for each Psychic Energy applied to it from the discard pile thanks to that Gardevoird EX. That's the piece we were missing there. Now it is all unlocked here for Henry Chow, the Gardevoird King himself, from using a familiar attacker here in the Scream Tail. It wants the damage on it so that it can hit you really hard, Puka, and that is exactly what we're seeing now with this Roaring Scream.
Yeah, you see some interesting plays with where to put the damage counters. Henry's trying not to put too much damage on Piper's board. You can see a kind of a clever situation here.
That.
Puts the 6 damage counters onto the Screamtail, but then moves one so that it's not in range of the Shadow Bullet doing damage to a benched Pokemon for 30 damage. Also, the counter catcher was pretty big here. Brings up a Monkey Dory with no energy, and now we see the Shaman come out for Piper. She's got to be kind of annoyed that she wasn't able to get that sooner, but
Right.
Yeah, Henry's able to bring up the Monkey Dory that doesn't have an energy on it, and then knock out the one that does have an energy on it. So it's going to present a really awkward situation for Piper. First of all, she needs a way to retreat, and I don't think she had one. So she's just going to miss an entire turn.
Oh.
But even if you find an energy to retreat, then you're having to use your attachment, and you're not going to have and you're not going to have Adrenabrain set up for future turns. But I think this worked out way better than Henry thought it would. He just got a free turn.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you're hoping for in these scenarios. You play into it, and sometimes you profit from it. That's exactly what happened here. Piper stuck with just this Monkey Dory in the active position as the board is just stale here, and Henry Chow has some options now. He's going to retreat out of this Screamtail, which, as you said, is not in range to just get Shadow Bullet down by that Grimmsnarl anymore. Has that 5 damage still on it. And we see this Kirlia come up into the active position here now with 3 Psychic Energy attached to it.
What is the plan here? We're seeing Kirlia powered up? We're going to see a Psychic?
I'll just move all 6 onto Shaman.
That's what I'm thinking
damage?
too. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing that, that's it. I mean, it's a single prize attacker here that's now been fully healed up thanks to those Adrenabrain. And that's it. That's 60 done to this Monkey Dory in the active here. Piper's forced into this Professor's Research just to get a new hand than what she was working with before.
Yeah, this is an obnoxious part of when your opponent has multiple Monkey Dories set up and you do not. Your opponent gets to dictate where the damage counters go. Piper really suffering by not having access to Adrenabrain, and at most can have 1 with a single attachment for the turn. It's been an awkward game after, the opening turn was really strong, but after that, Henry's been able to mount a comeback, and it seems like he's been putting himself in a pretty strong position in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool that we can see the Kirlia come up and just start attacking as well. That is not something I think I've ever casted over or seen in a game. So Henry Chow has definitely worked this matchup, has the strategies and the lines here. Now we finally are able to jump out of the active position with this Monkey Dory here as the damage is flying around, and we're going to get some knockouts on Piper's side. That's where we needed to be here. But is that really the best scenario now that we're back over to Henry's side? Is he going to still be able to hard charge and put more pressure onto Piper? What do you think, Puka?
Yeah, it's still a tough game plan to sort out. Henry did set up the Shaman to be knocked out by an Adrenabrain here, which will unlock Screamtail to attack the bench once again. So clever play on his part, setting this up a turn in advance. It feels like there's not a great option in his deck to go right at a Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX to do the 320 damage you need to knock it out in one attack. His game plan is about maneuvering around these and kind of ignoring them for as long as he can, and maybe using the annoying counter catchers to bring up Monkey Dory, trap them in the active spot, and try to buy some time. We'll see if it works out. Piper did have a huge double knockout on the previous turn, and the pressure is back on Henry for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we do see the Shaman fall now to the discard pile thanks to that damage being moved over. It was in range for that Adrenabrain.
You also saw Piper put an extra energy onto the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. You might be like, why are you doing that? It only costs 2 energy to attack. One of the things you can do in this matchup is attack with Monkey Dory's Mind Bend. Force your opponent into that confusion flip, and if they flip tails, it can set up a knockout on their Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. So Piper was preparing for this, over-attach energy to the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX so she can simply retreat if Henry goes for the Mind Bend.
Yeah, you don't ever really want to leave things up to a 50-50 chance. Rather, get out of there, get a fresh attacker up, and keep swinging. And you see, Piper knows this is the strategy. He's played into getting these big Grimmsnarl out here. Henry into an Iono. Piper's going to get 3 cards to the hand. Henry's going to have 4. We also see the flip the script that hadn't been utilized yet. Perfect sequencing here to get a fresh 3 as well for Henry.
Triple monkey setup now.
I know, usually
That's
you see this on, you see this, I mean, sometimes the Grimmsnarl has 4 monkeys down. It is possible, but look at Piper's side here. We just have the 2 monkey, and neither of them have the energy down on them yet. And Henry has definitely has a dominant field of monkey, that is for sure. And that Pheasantipity is helping out quite a bit as well. I mean, think about that. That's 30 if there's 30 damage that you can spread on your board, that's 30 each monkey. You think how much damage that's adding to your attacks as well.
Yeah.
It's just brutal.
Yeah, if you have 3 Monkey Dory, all with Adrenabrain, they can move up to 90 damage per turn. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be the Mind Bend this turn. And Henry probably knows this one probably won't work out. Piper's probably just going to retreat, but he's kind of hoping that maybe you do this a couple times, that eventually it sticks, you force your opponent into a coin flip, you just be really annoying, and then eventually it might work out.
That's what this match comes down to. Who can be the most annoying monkey player? That is for sure. Mind Bend is definitely a pain to deal with. And that is what we're seeing now. Monkey Dory with the Mind Bend, of course, the Adrenabrain to heal up as well. Has 2 Psychic and a Dark, spreading that damage over. We have a confused Grimmsnarl EX for Piper Lapine.
Yeah, one of the awkward parts about this deck, in one of the ways it's very vulnerable, is it does not have any sort of draw engine.
Right.
There's nothing. Most of these don't even play Fezandipity EX, so late in the game you can get hit by Hand Disruption, the Iono, and be in awkward spots. This would be a great position where Piper would want to play a Boss's Orders. You go after the Gardevoird, take a 2-prize knockout, but she just doesn't have the resources to do it. She actually drew 2 counter catchers.
Oof.
Really annoying. You can't play those right now. So her hand is mostly worthless, and she has to play with what's on the board, and you have to think eventually Henry's going to find a way to overpower this.
Right. You're running out of time. You're running out of resources. At least was able to retreat, bring this fresh Grimmsnarl EX, no longer having to deal with that confusion. Taking the knockout on that Monkey Dory, all that energy into the discard pile once again. And this Gardevoird EX is brought up into the active here for Henry. But yeah, that's a tough position to be in here for Piper, as far as kind of worrisome. You don't really know what's going to happen here because it's a little bit volatile playing the Marnie's Grimmsnarl. What are you going to get in hand? Speaking of which, Henry is going to get this monkey out of the deck here. Not that we, need it anymore. Or out of the discard, I should say.
Yeah, he's Ultra Balling for the 4th Monkey Dory in his deck. And then going to flip the script.
Look how many cards are in the deck. Is that
3 of his 4 cards. So only 1 card remaining. And looks like we may see another stall play, perhaps. Can bring up... Well, you could even go after the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX on the bench. It's already got 60 damage on it. That's something you can consider. Yeah, it's about finding the way to close this out at this point. You still need to get 4 prize cards. You can knock out both a Monkey Dory plus 1 Grimmsnarl. Looks like that's going to be the plan of action. 1 Monkey Dory goes down from the Adrenabrain. You can try to pick off another one, and then you just need to knock out 1 Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX to win the game. Now, it is kind of scary. Your opponent is at 2 prize cards. It's just a Boss's Orders onto your Gardevoird, and a Shadow Bullet ends the game, and Piper would win. But you have to think at this point, your opponent probably doesn't have what it takes.
Oh, yeah, well, we're seeing the Boss's Orders now here from Henry being played to bring up that Marnie's Grimmsnarl from the bench that has only a single energy attached, as that was the one to retreat. Has already that 60 damage on the active as well.
Here comes Screamtail once again.
Ooh.
So yeah, trying to trap this Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX that only has 1 energy on it in the active spot, and then pick off the Monkey Dory on the bench with the Roaring Scream. Go down to 2 prize cards, and you know your opponent didn't have an energy card on the last turn. Their hand seemed pretty weak, so you can probably safely assume your opponent will not have an energy plus a Boss's Orders to close out the game.
And then I'll move off
Henry playing this one beautifully so far.
I mean,
onto active.
I expect nothing less here from the Gardevoird champ, as we've seen known all season. This is a legendary storyline here for Henry Chow, as we see the damage being shifted over to the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. What do we have, Puka? It is not looking promising here from Piper's expression.
On to the next game we go.
I will go second That's all we have here from Piper Lapine as Henry Chow is going to take the first game here between these players. And like you said, Kyle, Henry played this beautifully. I mean, that was gorgeous. There's a lot of intricate plays, lots of damage counters, but the one thing Henry Chow had the whole time was the monkey dominance. I mean, there was so much dominance in those Monkey Dory, and having all of that extra damage to be spreading over to Piper's field. It's pretty nice, but also Piper just not having that extra support at the end there. Needed so many resources.
Yeah.
Well, really only 2 resources. Just wasn't able to get it.
You could see Piper kind of shaking her head there. Maybe felt like she opened herself up to a play there when she didn't have to. Yeah, this is crunch time right here. This was the turning point in the game where Henry was able to counter catch her up the Monkey Dory, and Piper was not able to retreat on that turn. It bought Henry a crucial turn. Even though Piper was able to get the early Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX, eventually Henry took control with all the Monkey Dory, able to overcome weakness in this matchup. And yeah, see a dejected look on Piper's face as she knows that's a game she could have won. It just didn't go her way.
Yeah.
Maybe she benched one too many things, and we'll see if the strategy changes at all in the next one.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. I mean, we pretty much went through the entire deck there for Henry Chow, and there was no Drifloon in sight. So I'm curious to see if now, I mean, that's definitely some knowledge that we have there. So Henry is starting us off, as Piper said, going second this time around. And check this out. The first card played here for Henry Chow. The Secret Box Ace Spec, discarding.
Must be nice to be Henry Chow.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You don't even need to search it. You just have it in your starting hand. Couldn't be better than that. The Iono Ultra Ball and Ralts going down to the Secret Box as we get all the cards we want in our hand here for Henry. Let's take a look at these prize cards.
Yeah, nothing too great.
No.
Well, nothing too
crazy. Yeah. Nothing too bad here for Henry Chow, as I think this is going to be pretty streamlined once again in this game 2 for Henry's strategy. And I mean, if you're Piper too, let's hope Piper has a pretty solid start here, because it's going to be needed when your opponent just starts off with the Secret Box. I mean, really, they're getting everything they need out of their deck right now.
Apparently in the first game, I think the technical machine Turbo Energize went to the discard pile, and Piper asked, was that a deck list error? You mean to have that in your deck?
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
So yeah, these players, I mean, they played at a lot of the same tournaments. I'm sure they've played against each other before. They're very familiar with each other. But, I mean, this is competition, right? It's me versus you. One of us has got to win.
Right.
You got to battle your heart out at this stage. You know, one more loss, you're out of this tournament. But one more win, you make it to the next stage and maybe fulfill your dream of being the champion at this event. So the pressure is on, and there is that Turbo Energize once again.
It's back out. I mean, check it out. We've only seen this in maybe a handful of other decks. It's not very common that we see
it. Won Worlds last
time. Whoa, my bad. Yeah, but that usually we're used to the TM Evo or Devo, but that one lets you search out energy cards, and you can just get going with your Monkey Dory ASAP as soon as you want to. So that's pretty cool to have that Turbo Energize. I'm sure it's helped Henry throughout this tournament so far. But for the starting board here for Henry, we got 2 Ralts here. The Monkey Dory is down, 1 Psychic Energy on the active, and we're over to Piper. And for Piper, we're going to see some Pokemon. You'll love to see it. The Buddy Buddy Poffin feeding all of the Pokemon coming out onto the field right now in those Impy Dimp.
You see the pace of play picking up as well. Piper normally a pretty fast player, but even for her standards, going at light speed. Time is of the essence at this stage. Neither of these players wants to tie this round. A tie eliminates both of you from contention. You need to get to 32 match points. Right now they're at 30. So you want to make sure this match finishes. You got to go fast. For Piper, that means winning 2 games over the course of the next 23 minutes or so. So it is time to pick up the pace for sure.
And that's pretty hard to do. We've known Gardevoird going pretty slow. I mean, it's a deck that has a lot of actions that you take, especially when there's Monkey Dory on both sides. You have to decide where those Adrenabrain abilities are going to go, where the damage is placed. I mean, we're already at below 25 minutes between these players, and we've only gone through one game here. So Henry Chow going to apply this Bravery Charm onto the Monkey Dory before a Professor's Research. It's going to take us into a new hand. Piper, on the other hand, was able to get the Shaman out a lot earlier than we saw in our last game this time around. You think that's going to turn the tides a little more here in Piper's favor, Puka?
Yeah, it'll make things a little bit more awkward early on in the game for Henry. If you recall, his first attack in the last game for a knockout was with the Screamtail, taking out a benched Pokemon. So, yeah, not having access to that early on could impact how this plays out. I think Henry's still feeling okay. Does use the Turbo Energize to get a Darkness Energy onto Monkey Dory and get a Psychic Energy onto the Kirlia.
Yeah, I mean, we already had the Dark on the other Monkey too, so there's a lot of energy out there on the field now for Henry. And a Bravery Charm on the Monkey, it's beefed up. It's 160 HP now.
Piper's got another turn to Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. We're going to punk up and try to put the pressure on, get some knockouts here, say, hey, let's get this game moving.
Yeah, absolutely. Piper is playing quick here. And I love to see it. The rare candy here for Piper. I mean, Marnie's Grimmsnarl is out. The Morgrim is on the field. We've got a pretty strong board here. And another Dark going on to this Monkey on the bench as well. It's pretty nice. That one Night Stretcher into the discard pile after that Professor's Research. We're going to get this TM Evo out on the field, but it's not going to stay there. It's going to be discarded here after this turn.
So yeah, Piper actually deciding to set up the Marnie's Morgrim, not the Grimmsnarl. Just going to go for the Corkscrew Punch, which will get the knockout and will not put damage onto Henry's side of the field. Shadow Bullet makes you put 30 damage onto your opponent's bench Pokemon. So instead, just going in with the Morgrim, getting the knockout and not giving Henry any ammo to fire back with those damage counters with the Adrenabrain.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it still nets you that prize card that you're looking for. Your single prize card or single prize Pokemon up in the active position now. Henry promotes that Kirlia into the active. All these stage ones are getting into the fight. We saw the Kirlia attack. Now we're seeing the Morgrim attack here as well. Henry looks to be debating this hand here. So far, there's multiple rare candy in it. Lots of supporters. But it's just the research here to throw it all away?
That is a tough one to throw away. One of the vulnerabilities now of Henry's board is only one Kirlia. There's not a Ralts currently, but now even if he puts a Ralts down, if the Gardevoird EX gets knocked out, it'll be 2 turns before he can get another one. Ooh. So this, no access to rare candy. This could come up as the game progresses. Right now, I think Henry's still trying to figure out what kind of attack he should go for. The Marnie's Morgrim has kind of an awkward 100 HP. So one Adrenabrain plus a Mind Bend from Monkey Dory isn't enough. You need to use both Adrenabrains to knock out the Morgrim. You could, go for a Screamtail. That could knock out the Marnie's Morgrim. But again, you have the Shaman out there preventing the bench damage. Right. So it's a little bit awkward to figure out which Pokemon you should attack with here. He does have access to Counter Catcher, I suppose, but it's going to be it's limiting his options right now.
Right, and that was a lot of resources that were thrown away for sure for Henry Chow. So that's a lot that is gone. A little bit netted back to the hand from this flip the script here for Henry, but it is definitely awkward. You've seen Piper has put a lot more pressure. It's been much smoother in this game too against Henry. Night Stretcher is going to come out here for Henry to get that Ralts down. We have also the Artisan that's going to net us the Screamtail onto the field once again.
Yeah, and looking at Piper's hand, she's already eyeing up a boss's orders for next turn. She's already planning out what her next turn is going to be and what she needs to do to set herself up for a victory eventually. Henry going to prevent this as much as he can. We do see the Gardevoird EX is in play now. He'll be able to Psychic Embrace. It's like that might have been an attachment from the hand, though. Not wanting to put any extra damage right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that could have been it here. The Psychic Embrace, or not the Psychic. Well, now we're doing the Psychic Embrace to put these energy onto the Scream Tail. But yeah, that may have been attached from hand. There was no damage there put onto the Gardevoird EX here as we take 40 damage onto that Scream Tail, 2 damage for each Psychic Energy onto the Scream Tail.
Yeah, and he's trying not to put too much damage onto the Scream Tail so that it doesn't get knocked out by the bench damage from the Shadow Bullet. So it's a weird dance trying to play around this. And what the? 3 Psychic Energy go on to the Monkey Dory with the Psychic Embrace.
To fling it off.
Just loading it up to get some damage on there.
Yeah, that's the thing about Gardevoird. You can make your own damage, even with Piper playing around that, leading with the Morgrim. Henry's just throwing his own Psychic onto this monkey. What do you think about that, Buka?
So I think he's trying to prepare for a boss's orders. Knowing if Piper boss's orders brings up the Gardevoird EX, Henry does not have a way to get another Gardevoird in a single turn after that. So he needs to prepare his next turn in advance. So he's trying to load up damage onto his Pokemon, load up some energy to prepare for the next turn. He's doing what he can to play around what his opponent might do.
My gosh, the mastermind behind Henry Chow. It's just absolutely incredible to watch here as we see another prize card go down here, but it's on Henry's side now that Morgrim's out for the count, and Piper has this Marnie's Grimmsnarl set up in the active. We saw last game, Piper had consistently set up these Impidimp into the Marnie's Grimmsnarl, but this time around,
huge boss's orders.
This boss is going to take out this Gardevoird EX, take it off of the bench into the active, and we've been talking about here for Henry, it might be pretty difficult to get another one of these Gardevoird EX set back up again, and that's 2 prize cards as well for Piper Lapine.
Yeah, Piper's going to be in a really awkward position here now. If Henry goes for the Mind Bend, she doesn't have a backup Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX in play. We may start to see some confusion flips come into play in this matchup. Piper currently ahead on prize cards, but it's looking a little dicey in terms of position for the rest of the game.
Right.
Henry does need to start to work up towards another Gardevoird EX. Seems like that's going to be important for him to close out the game eventually. But he's put himself in a spot where he's got a bunch of damage on board. He can move it with Monkey Dory's Adrenabrain. He can do an annoying attack with the Mind Bend. There is a Scream Tail powered up. It's got enough damage on it to do some relevant damage. I don't know, this is a really tricky one for both sides. There's still a lot of maneuvering left.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like we were talking about last time, Piper had the double Marnie's Grimmsnarl to be able to pivot out of it, have options, a lot of hit points out on the field. Think about it now, an Impidimp coming down this late in the game. I mean, it's just a 70 HP Pokemon, that Impidimp. And if it's taken out by Henry, that's another Pokemon down and a lot of resources not able to be utilized, or maybe not even an attacker. So it's like you said, it's just the 320 HP up here in the active position with that Marnie's Grimmsnarl. And Henry's just chugging away here with the Iono that has limited Piper's hand now to 3 cards. Henry, of course, having 5.
Okay, where does the damage from the Adrenabrain go? Feels like you need to get your Scream Tail out of range from Shadow Bullet once again. Actually going to move all 6. And there is the Mind Bend. Does Piper have a way out of this? I don't think there's a switch or any easy way to get in and out of the active spot. No way to recover from the special conditions either. I think we're going to see a big coin flip coming up, and hey, that's what NAIC is all about. We've seen some big Mind Bend flips in the last year. Here it is again.
Here it is again. Yeah, you definitely, this is what we saw last time. It was Arvin for the Switch in our previous game between the same matchup. But yeah, this time it's Arvin. We're going to get this Super Rod and one of those tools thinned out of the deck. We're going to shuffle some energy back into the deck here for Piper. But no switching around is not what we're going to be seeing here. Spike Muth is going to come out into the field, changing us out of this Artisan now to get this Morgrem out. It's not going to be able to be played as that Impy Dimp just came down here for Piper, but it is going to go to the hand as some extra backup here.
Yeah, now the awkward thing is the Shaman does have some damage on it, and it could go down. Oh, but wait, the second Adrenabrain, now 6 damage counters. This is a huge flip. It's heads. Piper takes out the Monkey Dory and the Curlia in a single attack, and Henry Chow is in trouble.
Oh my gosh, one prize card left to take here. Thanks to that heads, the Grimmsnarl is still confused, but it happened to attack through that confusion there as Henry Chow promotes this Screamtail into the active. Only has 10 damage on it at the moment.
And if you're Henry now, you have to consider, should I just concede? Is there an easy way out for me? Should I just give myself enough time to win a third game?
We're almost at 10 minutes here between these players.
What is the way back? It's going to have to be a lot of confusion flips, I imagine. There's no Gardevoird in sight. There's no good attacker for Henry. Just the Mind Bend is going to be the best thing you can do. Piper also has 2 Monkey Dories set up now, and Henry only has the 1. Right. She's going to win on that exchange. It feels like that one coin flip was the decider in this second game. But Henry Chow has come back from some weird situations before. Can he do it again?
Yeah, never count him out. That is
the
not what we want to do. Whoa, what? The spice here. We saw the Artisan come down, the energy switch to get that Psychic off the Roaring, or the Screamtail onto the Monkey Dory here. That's going to be able to allow it to Mind Bend once again. And of course, this Ralts is back now after that Night Stretcher here. But look how thin Henry's deck is. We've seen so many resources go down in this matchup so far here for Henry. Drawing up to 3 now thanks to that restart on the Mew EX. We've already used Flip the Script for the turn. We are back once again into this tiny hand here. For Henry Chow. This is. We
have 1 card left in his deck?
Yeah, I think so. That looks like 1 after this Iono drawing 5 out of the deck. That's it.
All right. Now Piper just down to the 1 card. One of them is the Spike Muth. Jim is able to find another Marnie's Morgrem and set up an attack maybe in the next couple turns. Now it's a question of, do you even go for the coin flip this turn? You can just move some damage back and say, next turn, I'm going to get another Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. I'm going to win the game. Can you stop me? But no, here it is.
Here it is. It's a head. It's
Piper
anyway.
Lapine takes the second game, and we're going on to a game 3.
A game 3 between Piper Lapine and Henry Chow after some brisk plays here from both of our players. Piper was able to win, tie us up into a game 3. It does not get more exciting than this. And with some of the most high-skilled, intricate plays I have seen all weekend from both of these players in this super tricky matchup. What do you think went wrong there for Henry?
Well, Piper flipped heads. He would have preferred if she flipped tails.
Besides the heads and tails, I feel like it was just so much more awkward for some reason. And it was kind of shocking because Henry started off, remember, with the secret box leading into this game 2 here between our players. But as you see, Piper was able to already take a prize card with that Morgrem this time around, trying to limit as much damage as possible for Henry's side. And then look at this, the boss's orders taking out that Gardevoird EX that limited Henry's ability. He just had to have so many more answers there. Oh my gosh, they're going.
Yeah.
Let's hop out of this replay and maybe into our match here because these players are flying.
Yeah, Piper's already starting off her first turn. These players are not wasting any time. We are into game 3. A Buddy Poffin kicking things off. Starting off with the Marnie's Impidimp again. Oof.
That was a quick setup.
Yeah, I mean, these players know what's at stake. There's not a lot of time left. They want to get through this game. They know the winner moves on to the top cut. The loser is out, and a tie helps neither player.
Exactly.
So they just want to get this going. We need to decide a winner here to see who is going to make it into the top cut here at NAIC. The pressure is on.
Yeah, this is all going to come down to how both these players are able to set up, but they're going to be playing quickly here. So we need to play smoothly, but try not to make mistakes here, but also go fast, because I mean, you could see the hands are shaking here. It's all coming down to this. We have 3 Impidimps set up for Piper Lapine, starting one in the active, and Buddy Poffin was the only card played on that first turn, as Henry is going to be able to play this Arven to get into the deck straight away. Going second has the availability of that supporter to be used. Prize cards has a Night Stretcher, a Counter Catcher, some later game resources, as well as that Super Rod. That is the only Super Rod as well for Henry, and that Gardevoird EX sitting at the top of the prize cards as well. One of the 2.
Yeah. Henry is going to Arven for the Secret Box and the Technical Machine Evolution, trying to get off to as strong of a start as possible. Discards 3 cards and can search for 1 of each kind of trainer card, Pokemon tool, a supporter, an item, and a stadium. And will have a pretty flawless first turn. Can get the Technical Machine. Well, I guess he can choose if he wants the Evolution or the Turbo Energized. Looks like Evolution is going to be the choice. Can get, a Ralts down onto the board. You can use the Technical Machine Evolution and go from there. Yeah, you got to go fast at this point. There's no time for a drawn-out game.
Yeah, you can't have that. That is for sure. The Earthen Vessel here is going to discard that Curlia. So we're going back into the deck here. I think they're just clarifying what's out. That Artisan is in play now here as well for Henry. Searched off that Secret Box. Ultra Ball easily going to discard the Psychic Energy that we need in the discard pile to power up our moves later on in this game. And there we are, the Ralts coming out here. We see the TM Evolution being utilized as the energy was attached to the Scream Tail to be able to use that TM. It is going to discard now out of the way, but we only have that single Curlia, as the other one had to be discarded for that Earthen Vessel to get the energy to discard to the Ultra Ball as well. Piper on the other side now leading us off. We have a Monkey Dory in play. Secret Box! Arven for the Secret Box and the TM Evo. Similar strategies here from both our players, but
that's just going to go right to the discard pile. We are going Turbo once again. Rare Candy, Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. Time to punk up and try to punch your ticket into the top cut here at NAIC. Piper sees an opportunity here, getting a quick Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. Try to attack, put pressure on your opponent, and take some prize cards.
I like punking up, that's for sure. As we see the Spike Muth Gym here, the Professor's Research out for Piper, the Ultra Ball, and that TM Evo. So a ton of cards are being thinned out as well. You saw all of these lines here. The Arven into the Secret Box, into the discard. More discard now to that Ultra Ball. We're going to get this Morgrim out
into the
active position. We have the Spike Muth to get us this Grimmsnarl. Rare Candy was already in the hand here into this Grimmsnarl EX. And that's going to be able to charge up both of these Marnie Pokemon.
And even one for the Impidimp.
Yes, exactly. As long as it's a Marnie's Pokemon, we're good here. Now, is one going to come down the Monkey? That'd be wild.
I don't know if there was one in hand, but there is a rescue board to put on the Monkey Dory that could be helpful here. Prevent it from getting, counter catcher. Oh, no, there is the Darkness Energy. What a perfect second turn for Piper Lapine, taking advantage of the situation here. And Henry plays the Professor's Research. He needs to draw something good here.
Yeah, you love to see it. Of course, that's...
no!
Oh, you don't love to see it? Maybe.
He's got no way to get Gardevoird EX on this turn. Just an Earthen Vessel, a couple of supporter cards, a Monkey Dory. There's no way to get Gardevoird.
Oh, my gosh.
A big miss for Henry on his second turn. Unable to match the pace of Piper in this game. Just going to have to settle for attaching to a Monkey Dory, most likely.
Ooh, that is tough. Yeah, we just saw the Earthen Vessel getting another Psychic into the discard. Monkey Dory charged up at least, but that's all that we get here from Henry Chow. And we're back over to Piper. It's exactly what you said, Puka. The pace is fast here. The Grimmsnarl has the edge as far as speed goes, and that incredible hand that Piper had before. Now we have so many resources that Piper is able to utilize. The Spike-Mooth Gym is still in play. That's already been activated here immediately for Piper. We have a Pokegear 3.0 to get a supporter out off the top 7 cards as well.
Yep, looks like the choice will be the Arvin. Already has Professor's Research in hand, but may not. Yeah, okay. Decides not to take a supporter card off that, deciding I'm just going to have to use Professor's Research this turn. No sense in taking a supporter card out of my deck. And here we go. Just an excellent start from Piper in this crucial third game in the final Swiss round. She will be able to corkscrew punch once again with weakness, even with the bravery charm. That is a knockout, and now Henry needs to get Gardevoird out. Where is Gardevoird EX for Henry?
Yeah, all these psychic Pokemon weak to the dark. Even this Morgrim is swinging and able to take these knockouts. 2 prize cards down now for Piper. There's only under 2 minutes left on the clock between these players.
Huge
as we
6
go
cards.
Into this Iono. 6 cards here for Henry. We got it.
There is Gardevoird EX. Henry can stay in this game. Poof. But now what? Is it Scream Tail time? Try to pick off one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. The Shaman is in the prize cards for Piper, so no protection on those benched Pokemon. Yeah, gotta think an attack here is coming, and the Lily's Clefairy EX is coming out.
Coming into play here, that Full Moon Rondo, 20 base damage and 20 additional for each bench Pokemon between both of these players. I mean, it's an attacker here.
Yeah, he can move 3 damage counters.
Yeah, in addition with the Adrenabrain is going to take the knockout there on this Morgrim in the active position as this Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX.
Only got 190 HP, so with the 10 on it.
It's a baby.
The Shadow Bullet can just knock out the Lily's Clefairy EX.
Yeah.
At the very least, Piper has a 2 prize card turn lined up.
It does the exact damage here, 180 onto that Lily's Clefairy, taking it out no matter what here. These players are playing so quick. Spike-Mooth back again. This has got to be like the last copy. I swear they've been flying here and there from Piper. And now we're going to see it be utilized here to get another Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. This is so many hit points that Henry's going to have to work through. 320 HP on both of these as we take another 2 prize knockout here into Henry Chow's Gardevoird EX in the active position. Pheasantipity is going to help out, draw 3 additional cards. We have another Monkey down with the Dark Energy attached for 2 Adrenabrains to be activated this turn for Henry. We're flying.
Is it just time for Mind Bend and cross your fingers? I mean, what else can you do here? The Marnie's Grimmsnarl is fully powered up. It has no damage on it currently. You can Adrenabrain a little bit. Is it going to help at this stage? And time has been called at this point. We have entered the 3 extra turn portion. So Henry should be turn 0. And then essentially both players will get 2 turns to close this out. Piper is right there. You can feel it. She's just 1 knockout on the Gardevoird EX away from getting to the top cut here at NAIC in New Orleans, making up for 3 years ago where she had a similar opportunity and fell short.
I'm my supporter, right?
Yeah, this is tough to see. It's all coming down to this. Of course, time has been called between these players, so slowing down the pace a little bit here as this Scream Tail is going to take all these damage counters from that Psychic Embrace off the Gardevoird EX. We're going to see the knockout here.
That's it. Boss's orders. Piper wins and moves on to the top cut here in New Orleans. What a quick, decisive victory in the final game. She's able to pull it off in style. And we're going to see Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX moving on to top cut here. Congratulations to Piper. What an amazing way to close out our Swiss rounds.
That was incredible. We have our conclusion. We have our answer.